Hey everyone, it's James Stace, and today I'm going to do another Q&A video. I've got some questions from Instagram, Discord and my YouTube channel, so let's get straight into it and start with some questions. Ooh, Sega himself, great username, has said Killswitch Engage or Parkway Drive? That's a tough question. I would say I probably prefer some of the riffs from Parkway Drive, but the songs themselves from Killswitch Engage. Killswitch Engage I've liked for longer and I've known about it for longer, and I can listen to a lot of their albums all the way through. Parkway Drive I only really like the first 3 albums. I'm not a massive fan of their newer stuff. They kind of changed quite a bit and went a bit stadium rock. So yeah, I would choose Killswitch Engage. They've got great vocals, great riffs. They now do solos as well, and those are awesome. 2 great vocalists that they've had in the past, and I've seen both bands live, and Killswitch Engage were better live as well. So I would say Killswitch Engage. So Khalid_Lee has asked, did you take any music theory lessons? Also, which do you think matters more, theory or technique? So first off, no, I didn't take any music theory lessons. Completely self-taught. Way! The only kind of music theory I know are guitar tabs, which I still think is a similar thing. I can do like sight reading while I'm playing along to a tab I've not actually heard before, because I can kind of guess and gauge from experience how it plays. But in terms of theory, no, I don't actually know theory. I don't know if I know it, but I know it. Like I know scales and chords, but I don't know what they are called and what mode they're in and all that kind of stuff. And also, what do I think matters more, theory or technique? I would say technique is more important. It's one thing to know a lot of information, but to be able to actually put that into practice is different. Like kind of like knowledge versus wisdom. I'd much rather kind of be the way I am, where I can play guitar quite well, but I don't know a lot of theory stuff. Ever since reading a lot of stuff about Dimebag or interviews that he had, he always talked about how he doesn't really know theory that much. He didn't sit down with a book. He always said that he didn't really have time to do that, and I kind of didn't copy that idea, but I didn't really sit down with music theory. I didn't really understand it or know if I wanted to learn it. So I think technique is more important. Helps to know a little bit of theory, and it helps to know what scales you like and how to play scales, but you don't necessarily have to know the names to them and the modes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Anthony_52100 has asked, what albums are you most excited about this year? I don't know. I think the 2 that spring to mind that I only know about, because I haven't really looked forward at enough releases that are coming out, are Ozzy Osbourne and Black Dahlia Murder. My favourite albums so far have been, there's a new Sylosis album, Cycle of Suffering. The new Dealer EP came out about 2 days ago, and that's really good. I know it's only 4 songs, but it's really, really good. Suicide Silence's album came out recently, and I've listened to a few tracks and it's actually really good. I like how it's taken them back a bit to the stuff they used to make when I got into them initially, and they've, I think, changed their style back to that because of the backlash they got from their last album, which is good, because I didn't really like that one. Polaris have got an album coming out this year. If you haven't heard of them, they're a great band from Australia. If you like Architects, then you'll really like Polaris, but I think Polaris are better, so watch them, they're great. So yeah, I think Black Dahlia Murder, Ozzy Osbourne are the 2 that I'm really looking forward to. Oh, and Lamb of God have got an album coming out soon, and I hope that's good, because I didn't really like their most recent ones very much. But yeah, I'll leave all those albums in the description below so you can go check them out. Great question. Columner Alex has said, what is your favourite videos on your YouTube channel? The ones that do really well. The ones that I like the most don't tend to do very well, because they're just ones that I really enjoyed making. Well, don't do well in terms of views. I really enjoyed the one I did recently with Sam from Unlucky XVII. That was really fun, because we got to sit and talk through the process of mixing videos. I like the videos when I go to Ibanez HQ. That's really fun, because I get to play with loads of guitars. And I just wish I filmed them better, because they never really turn out the way I'd like them to. I like the ones when I was in Japan, but my favourite ones, I suppose, are the ones where I think the medley ones are my favourite, because it's quite interesting to put a whole album together and make it into one giant song. They're quite challenging, because I've got to learn how to play the whole thing in like 1 take, and we do 2 angles, so I've got to do it twice. But they're some of my favourite ones, because they're a bit more a play on what initially started out as being avoiding copyright claims. It's turned into quite a cool new theme, like down-tuned medleys. So keep your eyes peeled if you like those, because I'll do some more. But yeah, I think those are my favourite YouTube videos. And I would like to do collaborations in the future, so maybe those will end up being my favourite. So Yeah, another great question. Thank you. If you like this video and want to see more riff videos, more reviews, more live streams and more stuff like this, don't forget to subscribe. Now on to the next question. It's Goliath Studios has said, hey mate, if you could have any job in the world, brackets, except being a musician, not a magician, what would it be? I'd like to be a magician. I don't know. I'm not the kind of person who looks forward too much and has like aspirations, so I never really was like, oh, I'd love to do this. I suppose when I was a kid I used to draw a lot, and I wanted to be, because I thought it was the only animation company in the world, I wanted to be a character designer for Disney. That would have probably been really difficult, but it was specific. I had to stay at home and they had to fax me ideas and then I had to create the characters. So that was my dream job as a kid. Bit weird, it wasn't like I want to be a firefighter or a policeman or a spaceman. But now that I don't draw anymore, I suppose if I could do it to the best of the ability, I'd like to be a tattoo artist. People always say to me, are you one or would you like to be one just because you've got lots of tattoos? And I'm like, no, I don't really have the patience to sit and draw a lot because you've got to draw all the time and it's not my biggest passion and music is. So yeah, if I wasn't doing a musician, which by the way isn't my job, I actually have a job that isn't this, yeah, I'd probably be a tattoo artist, but I'd have to already be really good at drawing and tattooing because otherwise it'd be the worst job ever and I wouldn't get paid any money. So thanks for that question. J1up, hey mate, has said, who do you think would win in a bar fight? Oh. EVH 5150, oh I knew this was coming. EVH 5150 or PV 6505 plus. So we have a little running joke between our small guitar group that we're in that the EVH 5153 is better than the 6505 plus. I own a 5153, a lunchbox version, so it's not really the same as like the kind of big 50 watt to 100 watt version. But I think I'm going to have to go against you, Jay, and say that the 6505 plus is better. When I started out in metalcore bands, everyone had a 5150 or a 6505 plus and a Mesa 4x12 and a tube screamer, so it was like the go-to metal tone. Parkway Drive, Killswitch Engage, every local band that I ever saw, you pretty much could just have the same exact like rig. You could just share it because everyone sounded the same in a good way, I suppose. So yeah, I think 6505. Not really. I don't really care about the plus or the non-plus because the plus all it added was an extra channel, so you had clean rhythm and lead. I had a 5150 that only had 2 channels, and I actually used the green channel for my distortion and the red one for lead. So yeah, sorry mate, but I'm going to say 6505 plus wins that one. Star666 has said on my previous video, guitar rack against your radiator. Isn't that bad for your guitars? Yeah, it is, but this one is off. So for everyone who says in every video that I do, why have you got your guitars next there, they're going to warp, it's not even on. I've turned it off, it's on 0. It's really cold in the house, so whenever I sit in here, it's really cold because it's not on. But this light is really bright and warm, so I'm alright. So yeah, the guitars are fine, so don't worry about it. Jeremy Lynn, brackets scooter print on my Discord server. He's actually the mod as well, so if you want to come and say hi, the description, yeah, that thing. He has said, what are/were your biggest musical inspirations as an aspiring musician? Initially, I got into, if you've seen my video of riffs that got me into playing guitar, nice little candid plug there, probably put it up here somewhere if I can do that. I listened to a lot of things from like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, so there was like Linkin Park, Papa Roach, but then there was rap music and like hardcore punk and stuff. So those things I was listening to as a kid, and my dad always listened to like Sex Pistols and things with guitar in them. But the first time I actually thought, do you know what, I want to be able to play guitar, I want to play that riff, I think was Left Behind by Slipknot, because I was into like Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit and Korn and those kind of bands, but I only really liked like their most famous songs. The Linkin Park famously don't really have riffs, they just have like power chords and stuff. So Left Behind, when I heard that song, was the first one where I went like, wow, that's a great riff, I really want to learn that. When I learned Dad to play guitar, I'm going to play that riff. And I've done it in loads of videos now, and it is a weird one because it doesn't sound super heavy on its own, but when you put it in a band mix it sounds great. So I think my biggest musical inspirations were Slipknot, Metallica, maybe Trivium, and all the new metal bands that I got into when I first started playing guitar. Papa Roach were great as well. And oh, It's Goliath Studios has also said, you can only eat one thing for the rest of your life. What is it? I mean, The thing I've eaten the most in my entire life is probably bacon sandwiches, because when I was a kid that was the only thing I really knew how to make. I used to work in Nando's and I ate that a lot, and I still eat it a lot. Or it would be like ramen from Japan maybe, or pizza. I could eat pizza literally every day for every meal and never get bored. Or pizza flavoured ramen, I don't know. Ramen pizza. Let's make it pizza with ramen on top. There you go, I'll eat that. So those are some really good questions. Got a lot more than I was expecting, so thanks guys. For those of you who don't know, I posted some stuff on Instagram asking for questions, so if you don't follow me already, head to the description below where there's a link to my Instagram page. I've also got a Discord server which a lot of those questions came from as well. There's also a link to that in the description below, so feel free to come and hang out with us if you'd like to. Don't forget, you can also leave some questions in this comment section as well for the next time I do this video, because I really enjoy doing these and I hope you guys enjoy them too. Leave a little like to let me know if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe because I do new videos every Sunday, and I'll see you guys very soon for some more riff videos.